Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast. I am your host,
Chuck Manatee.
And in today's episode, we are going to be covering Anaconda 2025. So as usual, what we'll do is we'll give you a bit of interesting info about the movie. We'll watch the trailer and I will give you my thoughts afterwards. So without any further ado, Anaconda is an upcoming American action comedy horror film serving as a meta reboot, which seems that Hollywood's doing quite a bit actually, and the sixth installment overall in the Anaconda film series. Can you believe 6? Following the television crossover film Lake Placid vs. Anaconda, which came out in 2015, and the first theatrical feature film since Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid, which was in 2004. It's directed by Tom Gormican and written by Gormican and Kevin Etten. The basic premise, so the plot concerns a group of friends who attempt to remake the 1997 film in the Amazon rainforest, only to be hunted by a giant and real anaconda. So, a midlife crisis inspires Doug and Griff to head to the Amazon rainforest to remake their favorite film from their youth, but everything changes when a real giant anaconda shows up, turning the comically chaotic set into a deadly situation. The movie they are dying to make, it just might kill them. A lot of puns there. Whoever wrote that article was like, oh, I'm punny. Yeah, man. So yeah, as far as the cast is concerned, quite a cool cast, like a very cool cast. Specifically Paul Rudd, I like him a lot. But he's going to be playing Ronald Griffin Jr., a background actor. So it's a long thing to explain him. Yeah, but he's been in a lot of movies. Of course, a lot of people would know him from Ant-Man and Ghostbusters of late. But I've been a fan of him for a long time. I quite enjoyed him in Friends, like that's in the 90s. So yeah, and then Clueless, which came out in 1995. So if you feel like chick flicking with your girlfriend, that's the one for you. So Clueless. Romeo Juliet, I actually didn't even know he was in that, but I have seen that. I believe that's 96. That's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio. Wet Hot American Summer, Anchorman, and 40-Year-Old Virgin were really good movies. So if you haven't seen those, definitely check it out. As you know, I like giving you guys some movies to watch while I'm busy talking about the actors. Jack Black plays Jack Black. No, I'm kidding. He has a very certain way of coming across in movies. So much energy that man has. I don't know where it comes from. But my favorite one, and I think it's one of the best comedies of all time, was definitely Tropic Thunder. Jumanji, obviously, who's in both. I quite enjoyed that. Kung Fu Panda, I like those. He did the voice for that. The Cable Guy, which is going to be my recommendation from these, and Mars Attacks. So that will be my recommendation from his stuff. Would definitely be Cable Guy. That's with Jim Carrey as well, and Mars Attacks. Both actually came out in 1996, so definitely go check those out when you get a chance. Steve Zahn, I've told you guys, I think a gazillion times, definitely go watch the show that he was in called Joyride. So if you haven't watched it, Joyride is a epic movie. It came out in 2001. It's got Paul Walker, R.I.P. Paul Walker, because shame he passed away. That's the guy from Fast and the Furious, if you didn't know. Yeah, That Thing You Do, Happy Texas, Reality Bites, Riding in Cars with Boys. Chicken Little was cool. If you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. It's probably a voice actor, well, definitely a voice actor in that. And then War for the Planet of the Apes, which came out in 2017. So he's been in a lot of different stuff. Thandiwe Newton. I know some people pronounce it differently, but in my country, you'd see that name and it would be Thandiwe. So there you go. Chronicles of Riddick. Very cool movie with Vin Diesel. Mission Impossible 2. I know a lot of people would say that's one of the worst ones, but it's one of these guilty pleasures kind of thing. It's kind of similar to Batman and Robin. It's my guilty pleasure. I really enjoy those. Batman and Robin, where Arnold Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze. So that was a really, really cool movie. Also guilty pleasure vibes. Mission Impossible 2 is like one of those. But Chronicles of Riddick, it was a sequel to Pitch Black, which came out a couple of years before that. Yeah, I'd say sci-fi horror would be the best way to describe that. That's a fun movie. If you haven't seen Chronicles of Riddick and you're a Vin Diesel fan, then go check that out. Then we have Daniela Melchior. Yeah, so she looks like she does a lot of like overdubs for movies and that kind of stuff. But she has played some characters as well. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, she was Ura. Fast X, she was Isabel Neves. So I think, if I can remember her face correctly, I believe she's one of the ones like early on in that movie. Yeah, so she's got a few coming up. So it looks like she's popped onto the scene relatively recently, but she's done for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. She did the Portuguese dub for Gwen Stacy. Black Book, Suicide Squad, I think I mentioned already. Roadhouse, she played Ellie. Roadhouse is a cool movie. I believe Ben liked it as well, which was a surprise that time because got to tell you the story. Sorry. So there was two that Ben had to do at that time, that he was busy with, and the one was Roadhouse, and the other was, what was it again? It's about the bombs. Gosh, now I'm going to sound like a total tool. But anyway, it was a long movie about the guy who did the atomic bomb, and for the life of me, it's not coming to my brain right now. But I thought that he might actually like the atomic bomb movie, where it was the opposite of that. So he liked Roadhouse, which was a surprise. I actually thought it would be the other way around. And yeah, I'm actually going to Google it quickly. Just give me 2 seconds. Atomic bomb movie. Let's go. So that Oppenheimer. There you go. And he hated it. He hated Oppenheimer. It was so long. He said it was the worst movie he's ever done a review on. So yeah, that was hilarious. Then we have Sultan Mello. Yeah, so there's not a lot of movies that I know here, or any. Yeah, My Hindu Friend, the movie My Life, The Clown. What else is there? Movie of My Life. So there's not a lot of stuff that I know yet, but it seems a lot of like voiceover stuff that he does. A lot of voiceovers, a lot of documentary kind of things. So don't know him too well. And then we have, I think that's Ione. I was actually going to say I1. Ione Skye, who's been in Habits, Kitty, which was a short film, Return to Babylon, Zodiac, that was in 2007, so quite a long time ago. Been in like quite a bit of stuff, but not someone I'm overly familiar with, to be honest. Then you have Ben Lawson, and this is the last one on this list. He's actually an Australian actor, and he got famous, which most Australians do, is actually, build up their name with Neighbours and then move, do stuff in America, which Margaret Robbie has done. I do believe that Chris Hemsworth has done that too, and Ben Lawson, yeah, so he's done a few things in the States, but started off with Neighbours, which Ben does a lot of reviews on, so go check those out. But yeah, he was actually in with Natalie Portman and Ashton Kutcher in No Strings Attached. Then he's done other stuff like Designated Survivor, 13 Reasons Why, The Good Place, Bombshell, Firefly Lane. Say that 5 times fast. Yeah, so he's done a few things, and it says, yeah, interesting or not, but in March 2023, he became an American citizen. So he's an American right now. Awesome. But yeah, that is the cast for this. And let's just go through to the last piece before we get to the trailer. Yeah, so Anaconda is scheduled to be released by Sony Pictures, releasing in the United States on December 25th, 2025. So this is going to be a Christmas flick, 100%. So, yeah, that's everything there. But without any further ado, let's watch the trailer for Anaconda.
I don't want to wait, man.
Doug, what are you talking about?
Let's do it. Let's reboot Anaconda.
Yes.
Wait,
What?
this is going to be the adventure of a lifetime.
We've dreamed of making this movie ever since we were kids.
What does it cost to get this thing made?
$2.5 million.
We've approved a loan for up to $9,400.
Yes.
We're gonna shoot it indie style. Run and gun.
We need a riverboat, a script, a snake handler, and a real snake.
Claire, you and I will star in it.
I love you, Derek.
Kenny, you shoot it.
Here we go.
Doug, you direct.
Action! Put your face right up next to the snake.
Maybe it'll be okay.
Coding.
This is Anaconda. And we no longer have a snake for our snake movie. We have to go out in the jungle and find another one.
What is that?
Oh my.
My Anaconda! We're in the middle of the jungle and we are being hunted! My Anaconda! Now we die! My Anaconda! It's okay, you're safe, I'm here! Holy My Anaconda! Keep rolling! Anaconda don't want none unless you
He's dead.
Oh no. What are we gonna do?
What if we use Doug as bait to get back to the boat?
That's a really smart idea.
Doug would have wanted this.
I'm not sure he would have wanted this.
Oh, look at the snake. He's alive.
I think he checked his pulse! He did! Doug! He's right behind you! What the hell is all about that? It's a long story! Run!
And that was the trailer for Anaconda 2025, or the 6th installment, as I've spoken about earlier. So, yes, funny. There were 3 funny bits in this that made me chuckle, which is unusual. It's usually like 1 these days, or maybe 2. But there was a few times I found myself chuckling a little bit, so it definitely looks funny. So yeah, it starts off with Jack Black kind of pitching the idea to Paul Rudd, who has not aged a single day in the last 30 years. He still looks the same. It's crazy. It's like Keanu Reeves, like vampires, I'm sure. But anyway, let's stay on track. But yeah, like, so he pitches the idea of doing the Anaconda movie, and they want to do it in a indie style, or whatever the case is. And these guys get a real snake, which I found, really ridiculous. So they're trying to find ways to budget this movie. They need $2.5 million. They only get like not even 10 grand to do this. So they obviously have to work with what they got, and they get their little boat, and they get a real snake, which I thought was, even if it wasn't as, because I'm sure you saw the snake that pops up after they kill the snake on the boat by accident with the first scene. Yeah, that snake was still pretty big considering. And the one that obviously starts hunting them after the fact, after Paul Rudd accidentally kills this one, is is monstrous. So yeah, so that's where obviously the comedy ensues, and I would imagine, I really hope maybe they go that Tropic Thunder route where they do get some of the footage and get this movie done, that it's not just, you know, like them running away. So hopefully they get the gold, or the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That would be cool. But we'll see how it plays out. But anyway, I'm not writing this. But yeah, the cinematography looks cool. Like the snake, that's the big snake. Because if you've seen the first Anaconda movie, for that time, everyone was freaking out about that snake and how good it was with CG. And if you look back at it, it's actually kind of rubbish. But this snake has been CG'd to the nines. It looks great. The snake looks great. So that was one of the things I was wondering about before watching this trailer. How's the snake gonna look? Yeah, the funny bits that I was talking about, one of the funny bits is where Paul Rudd's like, no, you're okay, everything's fine. And then the snake like just jumps out of nowhere and like eats her. So yeah, I just love Paul Rudd. He's got a direct line to my funny bone. And Bill Murray too. I know they said that in Zombieland, but he really does. He's just like a funny guy. Yeah, then Jack Black is dead. No one thinks to check this guy's pulse to go, oh shame, he's actually passed, you know. And then they strap like a warthog to him. And they were like, yeah, he would have wanted it. And this is the second part I thought was kind of funny. No, he would have wanted this. And that Tundiwe says, no, he really wouldn't. I mean, who would want their friends to do that to them, you know? Like, you'd want to be buried respectfully, not like put out as bait. Yeah, so, and then obviously you see these Jack Black trying to run with this warthog on his head, and it ends with the snake about to get him. I would assume if he's a main character, imagine they kill him off. Holy smoke. I mean, holy smokes. Yeah, so it probably gets the warthog, you know, right at the end. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the trailer. So it does give me a good feel. It looks like it could be a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, and it comes out Christmas, so yeah, that's in the United States. I'm sure the rest of the world would probably get it around Christmas time too, or on Christmas. I would assume that in this day and age, definitely. So yeah, if you've got nothing to do on Christmas Day, there you go. Take your family to go watch Anaconda. You know, so that will be fun. So I might just do that. But if this is something that you'd like to see us actually do reviews on, and I've said this before with a few of my trailer parts, so if you want us to actually review these movies, do let us know in the comments below with you know, if you like today's episode and you like the trailer, also pop that in the comments below, and do show us some love by liking, sharing and subscribing. But that is it for today's episode of the Everything Podcast, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.